Hi guys, I'm Shmee. Hello to you and welcome back to the channel where you join me at the 2018 Geneva Motorshow to check out one of the highlight cars at this year's event, the new Bugatti Chiron Sport. We'll take a good look around the car, I'll go through the ins and outs and what makes this a sportier version of Bugatti's epic hypercar, the Chiron. So let's get started and take a look at the new Chiron Sport. The ethos behind this car then, the Bugatti Chiron Sport. Well, as the name very much suggests, it's about being a sportier characteristic that comes from slightly stiffer shock absorbers, the suspension being 10% stiffer overall, but also 18 kilos of weight saving. Now that might not sound like a huge amount, but combine those characteristics together and it shaves 5 seconds off the Nardo handling circuit's time versus the regular Bugatti Chiron, which, as I know from experience, is an incredibly capable and wonderful machine. I had an amazing opportunity to drive the car and experience it also from the passenger seat on the German autobahns, and what an effortless feeling it is. So this car, as per the standard Chiron, has the 8-litre quad turbocharged W16, making 1,500 horsepower. As we explore the car, we'll take a look at some of the different design schemes that are available with the Chiron Sport, but one thing you'll notice immediately as it comes around in front of us is those new quad circular exhaust tips at the rear. It has a new exhaust system, which I can tell you I'm very much looking forward to experiencing and hearing at some point in the future. So this car is finished in Italian red, contrasting with the clear visible carbon over the rear sections. If I just come in a little bit closer, you can see the wonderful finish of that. It is beautiful carbon fiber work, lacquered of course for a glossy finish. The car has new lighter wheels. If we come in close, it's a distinct Bugatti design. The 5 Y-spoke or twin spoke, depending how you'd like to call it, around the wheel, but lighter weight, still shod in the Michelin rubber for maximum grip, because of course this thing is incredibly fast. It's limited at 380 kilometers an hour. We experienced nearly that on the Autobahn, but it will do figures like 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 2.5 seconds. 0 to 300 kilometers an hour, the big number, is just 13.6. When you do remove the limiter and go all the way, it's only just over 40 seconds up to 400 kilometers per hour. You'll notice also around the front a distinct feature and highlight, the 16 inside the Bugatti emblem, the horseshoe grille at the front of the car, representing of course the 16 cylinders that this car has to propel it from that engine. It's mated to a completely seamless double clutch gearbox. And really what's fascinating about this car is the way it goes about such dramatic performance in a completely relaxed manner, and you very much experience that when you're in the car out on the roads. So let's just remind ourselves of some of the details and walk around the exterior. You look at the carbon fiber wing in the handling mode here, raised up out of the rear deck. It's completely open at this rear end for maximum cooling and airflow out of the engine, keeping temperatures low. You have that full width light bar, the rear light running the whole width of the back of the car, the longest light on a production road car, giving it a lot of presence from the back. As we come around the side, you have the distinct C shape that runs around the A-pillar and around the back of the door, the C for Chiron of course, after whom the car is named. Just coming around though, one particularly interesting detail and feature about the weight savings of this car are the windshield wipers. So these are actually now made out of carbon fiber, a first on a production vehicle. They're also finished with 3D printed aluminium tips. That whole setup means they save 77% versus the standard weight on those components, which comes in at just 1.4 kilos. You get a sense of what they're doing in terms of weight saving to make this car come together. There may be speculation over what's going to come again in the future beyond the Chiron, whether there'll be a super sport version or the like, but for now this is the optional Chiron Sport, starting at a base price of 2.65 million euros, excluding taxes. That's up from the 2.5 million euros of the regular Chiron, and this particular car that we're looking at here in front of us is 2.98 million euros net of taxes in this specification. Now I am very fortunate enough to actually have the key for the Bugatti Chiron in my hand here, which is a lovely piece actually, with anodized black, some different trim around it, the contrast red stitching and the Bugatti emblem. But let us just unlock it, because I want to show you a little bit of what these lights do at the front of the car and the way they fade away. How cool is that to see the way they work? lovely, lovely light signature pattern there that you see from the car. So let's come and just have a quick glimpse at the interior of it as well while we're here on the stand. Number of changes on the inside of the Chiron Sport. It's carbon fibre everywhere when you look in this car. You'll notice the glossy carbon of the tub around the centre of the car finished with the new Sport side sill designation that you have there. The door card on this car finished in satin carbon fibre, which looks incredible. That is a lovely, lovely touch for that area of the car. Then you'll notice the suede of the steering wheel. The steering wheel itself that has the option for the different Bugatti driving modes that you have here, for example, on the track, on the autobahns, or the Bugatti mode, or if you want, you have down here the optional key to plug in to go for max speed. Just in here, this releases, it's held in magnetically. You turn the key and then it will remove, put the car into handling mode. So a couple of things that are changed for the Chiron Sport on the inside of the car. You'll notice the black anodized dials in the center for your various different toggles. Normally those would be a chrome finish, so that distinctly differentiates for the Sport versions of the car. But this is clearly a very sporty interior in general, with the way it's finished with the black leather, Alcantara, the red contrast stitch, the red painted section, which continues this sort of sea that you can see, the illuminated sea that runs around the center of the car from the roof, even red around the rear view mirror actually. That's quite a nice touch. The illumination that runs all the way through the back, and even you can see over the top of the car as well, down over the back of the engine bay towards the rear wing. And one of my favourite things in here, look at the speedometer display. It goes up to 500 kilometers an hour. Now the car might not drive all the way to 500, but having a speedometer that goes to 500 is something pretty epic in its own right. So what else can we see about the Bugatti Chiron Sport other than just taking in the marvelous engineering of this car? The carbon fiber backed seats, comfortable, supportive, yet incredibly capable. Everything you touch and feel is very nice, yet it's a car that can achieve the most outstanding performance that you can imagine, and it's finished so beautifully as well. Obviously Bugatti set precedence with the Veyron when they introduced the car, selling all 450 that they intended to create. Along the way there were a number of different variations. They're saying there won't necessarily be the same variations for this car going forward as we're seeing with the launch of the Sport, but through, on this car, through the change in the shock absorber configuration, the total net effect, resulting effect, is a 10% stiffer ride, giving it that extra performance. The car also has revised handling that doesn't compromise the drive or experience behind the wheel, but does enable it to be a slightly more sporty ride and driving experience. One other thing that's slightly lighter than before, the rear glass, so between the canopy and the engine, is also slightly thinner to save some weight, to pull out just a little bit. So you can tell really, to make this car lighter than before is an awful lot of work. It's very difficult to get the numbers down and to be able to really reduce anything from the regular car's weight. So we can just take it all in really. It is a magnificent machine. Actually, let's have a quick look at the cover atop the engine at the back here. Finished again with the red covering tops. It's a very nice colour scheme. They're actually doing 4 different colour schemes, design specifications you could say, for the Chiron Sport in different colours from factory, and this is one example of that. As I said, coming in at just under 3 million euros for the price, which potentially makes it one of the most expensive cars here at the Geneva Motorshow. But that is the beast. When it awakens, it gives you a deep murmur, rumble, lets you know quite what it's going to be capable of. And as I can tell you from my experience, it is really something monumentally special. It is really special. So there are some signature highlights around the car. You'll notice the quad headlights, for example, the quad theme very much continuing around where you look. 4 turbochargers, a quarter of the 16 cylinders, same with the exhaust system at the rear. But I think finished like this, with the C matching the front end bodywork, is actually a very nice paint scheme. You see them in different colours, for example, carbon throughout with a contrast colour for the C, for the Chiron C around the outside of the doors. This has worked out very well. Anyway guys, what do you think of the new Bugatti Chiron Sport? Are you impressed? Do you like what you see? Is it a good thing that there has been an update to this car in this way, introducing a more sporty version?
as it spins around, you can imagine what the wing would look like if it was sitting flush in its regular position. Wearing the number plate tucked in under the rear here, but the entire car is carbon fiber. Everything we're looking at is carbon fiber components throughout this absolutely incredible machine. So I wonder when the opportunity might arise to have a go and experience what this is like. But really, if you want a Chiron to head more to the track or for more of an experience out on some spirited driving, we could say, the Chiron Sport would be the option to go for, to get the maximum experience. Anyway, I'm just enjoying watching it spinning around in front of me. This is a magical thing. One of the most special cars here at the 2018 Geneva Motorshow. So there we go, the Bugatti Chiron Sport. Thank you very much to Bugatti for the opportunity to come and film this car today and give you a first look at one of the highlights here. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you've enjoyed learning an awful lot more about it. I look forward to sharing even more with you in the future. Anyway, that's it for this time. Thank you very much again, guys. As always, I'll be sure to catch up with you very soon with the next video. See you then. Cheers.